My name is Randy McClure. I've been a karate instructor for about 30 years and been training in martial arts for 35. As an instructor, you get to know a lot of people in your life, and different characters walk into the door that want many things from the training in martial arts. I met Daniel about 20 years ago, and he came in, wanted to learn some self-defense in our school in Paramount, and I immediately found that he was an extraordinary human being. He was cut from a different roll of cloth. Daniel was a sailor, a singer, a construction boss, a writer. He was your typical Renaissance man, somebody, as I said, wouldn't fit any kind of mold. I don't think Dan was ever satisfied with anything in his life that would cause any kind of boredom to him. Martial arts is always a challenge, no matter who decides to train it. It always has three aspects. It's a mental ability, a physical ability, and an intuitive ability. And this makes martial arts unique. Somebody like Dan, who's a very sensitive individual, can plug into the intuitive, which is usually one of the hardest parts of the practice. He always wanted to use martial arts, the balance, the training, the discipline, to help him concentrate more on his art. And a lot of artists do this. They use the art as a balancing routine to make them centered and to make them concentrate more and to apply whatever skill they have, any gifts that they have, any talents they have to other endeavors. And I think Dan has really achieved this level within his art. Like I said, he's written, he's branched off into music. I've always been really surprised at his creative side of him. Things that come very hard to other people seem to come very easy to Dan, especially in his writing. I'd go and visit him over at his house, and he would have maybe a half a dozen songs that he was working on. I do a little writing myself, and I know I just sweat bullets over anything like that. But Dan has been able to use his martial arts training to, like I said, to focus. A lot of times, like I'm watching the shoot today, that there's so many things going around, and you're being pulled in so many directions that you have to have a center to yourself. And basically, through breathing, hard exercise, and facing strong opponents, you learn to know yourself. And Dan has had this ability, and it's just has grown in him as he has progressed in his other arts. What else do you want me to?
That's it. Maybe you could just talk about the high-level experience, the mental preparedness that it takes to do the stuff that you do, because everyone usually associates it with physical things, and you sort of talk about how it's almost more important to...
Well, there is a level of physical ability that you work on. You train very hard to be proficient in your skill. But then you get to a level where physical will not help you anymore, that it becomes mental. And actually that's the hardest part of your training. The physical can be learned. As a matter of fact, a lot of athletes will go into martial arts and really achieve a fast level, a good level. But then when they start hitting the wall, which is a mental wall where they have to push through, they have a hard time because physically things have come pretty easy to them. One of the things in martial arts that is really makes it for everybody is that even small person, weak person, old person, as long as they can develop their mental capacities and their look at their strength, they can achieve a level. Okay, when you're faced with an opponent and say this person is rushing into you and you only have one technique to do, say a small woman against a big man, and she can only do one thing. She only has one attack, and that would be an attack to the throat, breaking the trachea. But you would have to believe to do this with all your strength. If you believe in the technique and you go into something like this, you have a strong chance of surviving, but it's facing your fears. Everybody has fear. And how you overcome your fear is what martial arts is about. And through the hard training, facing opponents all the time in kumite, which is fighting, you start to get confidence in yourself. It doesn't come right away. It takes years and years and years. And in martial arts, it's never really finished. The day you die, you're still practicing. You're still trying to achieve your very personal best within your art. So.
Cool. That's great. Very helpful.
Okay.
The beginning part was really good for us.
You checked the